Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? After
Yeah.
you pay for something, that little moment of uncertainty, wondering if the money really went through or if maybe it could bounce back.
Oh, yeah. It's a surprisingly common headache happens with both old school payments and the new digital stuff.
Exactly. So today we're digging into a really interesting project that's trying to fix exactly that.
Yeah.
Slow transactions and all the risks that come with them.
We're looking at AMP, specifically the AMP token and the whole decentralized system behind it. Think of it as a kind of universal digital collateral.
Collateral.
Yeah, like a guarantee. It's designed to instantly guarantee pretty much any transfer of value, cutting out those delays and, the risks.
Hmm.
We've got a bunch of sources here to unpack it all.
And our mission, as always, is to make sure you walk away really understanding how this thing works, what it could mean for like everyday life, and also the big challenges it's facing.
For sure. Okay, let's get into it.
So beyond just that payment anxiety, what's the fundamental problem AMP is trying to solve for regular people like you and me?
Well, it really boils down to something called instant finality. It sounds technical, but it's pretty simple.
Okay.
When you use, say, a credit card, you swipe, it looks done, right? But behind the scenes, that money doesn't actually settle for maybe days.
Right, I've heard that.
And that delay, it creates a window for fraud, for chargebacks. The merchant is kind of left holding the bag. Now, with crypto, it can be even trickier. You might send some Bitcoin, but then you have to wait for the blockchain confirmation.
Which can take time.
Exactly. And worse, the price of that Bitcoin could jump up or down wildly while you're waiting. It makes using most crypto for just like buying a coffee a real headache.
Yeah, not practical.
Merchants are understandably nervous. Consumers get frustrated. It's a genuine barrier, a big hurdle stopping digital money from being used everywhere.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So AMP comes in to speed things up, give that instant guarantee. How does it actually do that? Can you give us a simple analogy? Like, how would you explain it easily?
Absolutely. Let's try this. Imagine AMP is like a super reliable, really well-funded friend.
Okay, a rich friend.
Maybe. So you're at your favorite store, you want to buy something quick, but your usual payment, maybe a bank transfer or even crypto, might take a while to actually settle. The store owner's there kind of wondering, am I actually going to get paid?
Yeah, that uncertainty again.
Right. So AMP, our reliable friend, steps in right then and there, tells the store owner, don't worry about it, I guarantee this payment. Right now, you can hand over the goods immediately.
Instantly.
Instantly. Now, this friend, AMP, has access to a big pool of money. This pool is made of AMP tokens, and lots of different people, we call them stakers, have put their tokens into this pool.
Ah, the stakers.
Yep. So if, for some strange reason, your original payment doesn't go through, maybe it fails, maybe there's an issue, AMP, our friend, uses some of those tokens from the pool to pay the store owner immediately.
So the store owner is always covered.
Always covered instantly. You get your item, no waiting. And the stakers, they earn a little bit, like a small fee for helping provide that guarantee, for putting their tokens up as collateral.
Okay, I like that. It's like a decentralized insurance policy for payments.
That's a great way to put it. A universal decentralized insurance policy. That's the core idea.
That clicks. So drilling down a bit more, how does this super reliable friend actually work behind the scenes? What are the mechanics?
Okay, let's walk through a typical transaction step by step.
Yeah.
One, you start a payment. Let's say you're buying that coffee, maybe using Bitcoin through an app like Gemini Pay. Now, Gemini Pay uses Flexa, and Flexa is the payment network that uses AMP.
Got it. Flexa uses AMP.
Correct, too. AMP steps in instantly. As soon as you hit pay, Flexa automatically locks up an equivalent value of AMP tokens from one of those collateral pools we talked about.
So it reserves the funds immediately.
Exactly. Those locked AMP tokens are the instant guarantee. 3, the merchant gets paid, no waiting. Because those AMP tokens are locked as collateral, Flexa can tell the merchant, you good, you'll get paid, say, in US dollars right away. They don't have to wait for your Bitcoin transaction to slowly confirm on its blockchain. The payment is final for them.
Wow. Okay.
Then comes the risk management. Now, if your original Bitcoin payment goes through smoothly later on, great. The locked AMP tokens are simply released back into the pool.
And if it doesn't?
Good question. If it fails for some reason, maybe a network issue, maybe fraud, then those locked AMP tokens are automatically sold, liquidated.
To cover the cost.
Precisely.
Yeah.
To make sure the merchant still gets the exact amount they were owed. The risk is effectively shifted away from the merchant and onto that decentralized pool of stakers.
And the stakers? What's in it for them again?
5, stakers earn rewards. Those people who put their AMP into the pools. They're the ones securing the whole network. For taking on that slate risk and providing the collateral, they get a share of the transaction fees generated by Flexa payments.
It's a really elegant system, shifting risk and providing speed. Is there anything unique about the tech itself that makes this possible?
Yeah, this is where AMP gets really clever. It uses two key pieces of tech: collateral partitions and collateral managers.
Okay, partitions and manager.
Right. Think of collateral partitions like having a smart wallet that can divide your total AMP balance into separate little boxes or compartments.
Okay.
Each compartment can be dedicated to securing a totally different transaction or maybe a specific app or even a particular type of risk. It allows for really fine-grained control. Your tokens stay yours, but they can be assigned to different jobs.
Go fly.
Very flexible and secure. Then you have collateral managers. These are basically the rule books written as smart contracts.
The instruction.
Exactly. They define precisely how AMP tokens get locked, how they get released, and importantly, how they get liquidated if something goes wrong for a specific application. Flexa capacity, the system for Flexa payments, is just one example of a collateral manager.
And I think you mentioned earlier, this isn't just happening on one blockchain like Ethereum.
That's right. It's not just stuck on Ethereum, although that's its main home. AMP is also deployed on other blockchains like Solana, Near Protocol, and Base.
Why do that?
Well, it's about reach and efficiency. Different chains have different strengths, right? Maybe lower fees, faster speeds. Being on multiple chains lets AMP secure transactions potentially cheaper and faster, tapping into different crypto communities and ecosystems. It makes the whole universal collateral idea much more practical.
Okay, bringing it back to the everyday person. What does all this technology mean for regular users and maybe small businesses? What are the real-world benefits?
Yeah, that's the crucial part. It really changes things for a few key groups. For merchants, this is huge. They get instant payment confirmation, guaranteed funds, protection from crypto price swings and fraud. Often, the fees are lower than typical credit cards, too.
Lower fees are always good.
Definitely. And we're not talking small shops only. Big names like Nordstrom, Lowe's, GameStop, Chipotle, even the gas station chain sheets, like over 750 locations, they're using Flexa, which means AMP is working behind the scenes. It even plugs into common point-of-sale systems from NCR and Shopify.
Wow. Okay, so it integrates fairly easily.
Seems so. For consumers, finally, you can actually use your digital assets, your crypto, for normal shopping in the real world. Just using an app on your phone, almost like a debit card. It makes crypto less of an investment and more like actual money.
Removes that friction.
Exactly. For AMP holders, the stakers. If you hold AMP tokens, you don't just have to hope the price goes up, you can actively participate. Stake your tokens in those collateral pools, help secure the network, and earn passive income from the transaction fees.
You get yield.
You get yield for providing a service. And for developers, because AMP is open source, other builders can grab this tech and use it for their own projects. Anything that needs a guarantee, maybe lending, maybe insuring NFT sales, maybe making transfers between different blockchains safer, it's designed as a base layer.
The developer angle is interesting. So It's not just theory. You mentioned Lowe's. Can you kind of walk me through what that actually looks like for someone shopping there?
Sure thing. Imagine you're at Lowe's. You've picked out, a new power tool.
Okay.
You head to the checkout. Instead of pulling out a Visa card, you pull out your phone. You open an app, let's say Gemini Pay again, and you choose to pay with maybe Bitcoin, maybe Ether, whatever crypto the app supports via Flexa.
Right.
The cashier might scan a QR code that pops up on your phone screen. Almost instantly, your phone says payment approved, and the cashier's terminal says the same. Done.
No waiting for confirmations.
No waiting. That super smooth, fast experience, that's AMP doing its job as collateral in the background, allowing Flexa to settle with Lowe's immediately. And this is happening, potentially, across tens of thousands of locations already.
That's pretty impressive adoption for a crypto project. It sounds really promising, almost too good to be true, but no project is perfect, right? What are the catches? What are the main risks with AMP?
You're right to ask, and this is where things get quite serious. The biggest cloud hanging over AMP, without a doubt, is regulatory uncertainty. especially in the United States.
The SEC.
Bingo! In July 2022, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, explicitly named AMP as an unregistered security. Now, this was actually part of an insider trading case against a former Coinbase employee, not a direct action against AMP or Flexa itself, but
The classification stuck.
the classification was made public, yes. And more recently, I think it was May 2025, the state of Oregon also used language describing AMP that strongly suggested it views it as a security, too. This whole regulatory overhang is a massive issue.
What does that actually mean in practice?
It has real effects. For instance, Binance.us delisted the AMP token. It makes big institutional investors very nervous about getting involved. Potential partners might hesitate. It casts a long shadow over AMP's future, its legitimacy in the biggest market.
That sounds like a major threat. How has the team behind AMP reacted to that kind of pressure?
Well, they've definitely tried to navigate it. They set up an independent organization called the Ampera Foundation to hold the intellectual property for AMP.
To create distance.
Perhaps. And they've also been developing a whole new protocol called Anvil, which has its own separate governance token, ANVL. This looks like an attempt to very clearly separate the utility of the AMP token, its job as collateral, from any kind of governance or ownership expectation that might make it look like a security.
Trying to satisfy the regulators, maybe?
It seems like a strategic move in that direction, yeah. But beyond the huge regulatory question mark, there are other risks, too.
Okay, what else?
Reliance on Flexa. Right now, AMP's fate is really closely tied to Flexa's success. If Flexa doesn't get truly massive adoption, if people don't use it widely for payments, then the demand for AMP tokens as collateral just won't grow enough. Competition, it's a crowded space. On the crypto side, you've got things like Bitcoin's Lightning Network for fast Bitcoin payments, other payment processors like BitPay or AlchemyPay.
Yeah.
And on the traditional side, you're up against giants Visa, MasterCard. They aren't standing still. They're exploring blockchain, too.
Heavy hitters.
Very. And even in the broader crypto world, DeFi lending platforms like Amav or MakerDAO have their own ways of using collateral. So lots of competition. Transparency gaps. This one's tricky. It's actually quite hard to find clear, reliable public data on key metrics, like how much value is really locked up in AMP's collateral pools. The TVL, what are the actual daily or weekly transaction volumes going through Flexa?
Why is that data hidden?
It's not necessarily hidden, but it's not easily accessible or consistently reported in a verifiable way like it is for many other DeFi protocols. This lack of transparency makes it hard for anyone outside the project to truly gauge its real-world traction. You see the partner logos, but you don't see the usage steps clearly.
Which makes investors nervous again, I bet.
Exactly. It makes it harder to assess if it's really taking off or just has potential. It creates doubt. Tokenomics pressure. This is about the economics of the AMP token itself. There's a huge maximum supply, 100 billion tokens, and many of these tokens were allocated early on with long unlocking schedules, some stretching out to like 2045.
Wow, 2045.
Yeah. So you have this constant, predictable stream of new tokens coming onto the market for decades. This creates natural selling pressure. For the price to hold steady, let alone increase, the demand for AMP as collateral has to grow really, really fast to soak up all that new supply.
That's a tough balancing act.
It really is.
Okay, that's a lot to consider, both the good and the challenging. So if you had to boil it down, how would you summarize AMP for us, thinking about everything we've discussed?
Connecting all the dots, I'd say AMP is a genuinely innovative project. It has clever technology, and it is seeing real-world use through Flexa, aiming to solve a fundamental problem, making digital payments instant and safe. But its significant potential is currently being held back, maybe even threatened, by these major regulatory question marks, especially in the US. And it really needs to provide more transparency about how much it's actually being used to build confidence.
That was definitely a deep dive. It's clear AMP has this really compelling idea for smooth, fast digital payments. But yeah, it's sailing in some very choppy waters right now, especially with regulators and that need for clearer metrics.
Absolutely. And that leaves a big question for you, the listener, to think about. We all want things instantly, right? So will a universal digital guarantee system like AMP manage to overcome these big hurdles, the regulations, the giant competitors, and really change how we pay? Or will it end up being a really smart piece of tech that just serves a specific niche? It's definitely something to watch as digital payments keep evolving.
You know, this is a great point to quickly pause and remind our listeners of something important.
That's right. If you value this kind of breakdown where we try to make these complex crypto projects understandable and you want more reviews like this one, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, CryptoBox. We put in the hours of research so you don't have to.